Hey, everybody. Welcome to another Facebook Live. I'm your host, Jess.
And I'm your host, Lauren.
And this week we are celebrating National Vet Tech Week 2021, which is super exciting, such a big deal here at Penn Foster. And we have a really awesome special guest that we're going to introduce shortly. But first and foremost, Lauren is going to go over our Facebook Live etiquette and just some tips and tools for you guys.
Sure. So welcome, everyone. We're so excited to be celebrating Vet Tech Week with you all. The first thing is that if you have any questions or comments or anything exciting that you want to share, we really want to engage with you. So please share anything that's on your mind below in the comments. Also, make sure to like and share this with your friends because we want to make it a big party celebration today. Just don't give any personal information away because, of course, the comments are public. So if you are a current student and you want to talk about anything where you might have to give a phone number, student ID number, we would really prefer if you just call us at Student Services. The number is 1-888-427-1000, or you can also just send us a direct message right to this Facebook page. If you're not a student yet, but are thinking of maybe checking out our vet tech program, our admissions team would love to talk to you. Their phone number is 1-888-427-6500. But we hope that you stick around for this whole Facebook Live today before we make any phone calls because we have some really exciting stuff planned, starting with you guys getting to know our guest, who is a really important member of the Penn Foster team. Her name is Megan Chadwick, and she is the Veterinary Academy Director. So welcome, Megan. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. Hello, everybody.
So Megan, could you start us off by telling us a little bit about what you do at Penn Foster, and then maybe also sharing a fun fact to help us get to know you better?
Sure. So at Penn Foster, as you said, I'm the director of the Veterinary Academy. I'm also a credentialed veterinary technician myself, and I oversee all the academics with our veterinary technician program, our veterinary assistant, and pretty much everything animal and veterinary related. Fun facts, that's always a hard one. So I would probably pick, I was actually in a part of a Guinness World Record back in like 2011. It was for riding a roller coaster. It was like the record of most costumed riders on a theme park ride. It was around, I think, like this time, like Halloween time, and I was dressed as a zombie veterinary technician.
That's so amazing.
So funny.
Yeah.
That's a good Halloween costume idea for anybody who's watching too.
Yes.
Yeah. It was pretty cheap too, since I had like some old scrubs, just cut some holes in them. Yeah, so it was quick and easy, and I don't like roller coasters, but I rode one just so I could say this could be my fun fact for my life. I don't know.
Yeah.
I love that.
A big deal to be in the Guinness book. Well, I guess it was a Book of World Records, and now it's just the Guinness World Records.
Yes.
That's
I'm
so
sure
cool.
in 2011 it was still in a book of some kind. So.
Yeah.
That's
So
so
we're
cool.
really excited to talk to you just about the vet tech profession in general and really celebrate this week with you. Some things that we'll be covering today are what National Veterinary Technician Week is all about, why we should definitely celebrate our very deserving vet techs, why you should become a vet tech, our Vet Tech Academy programs, our next generation program features for our vet programs. And then we'll let you guys know about some webinars that are coming up this week that will be really exciting to check out. So to start us off, Megan, why don't you tell us a little bit more about what National Veterinary Technician Week is?
Sure. So Veterinary Technician Week is celebrated each year in October. And it's, really our chance to not only celebrate our profession, bring, acknowledgement to everything that we do. And it also gives, veterinary, other veterinary professionals to kind of, celebrate us. I know in a lot of hospitals and clinics, little activities go on to thank all the hardworking veterinary technicians that they work with. And this year it is October 17th through the 23rd, right?
Yes. And there's a theme, isn't there?
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah. So this year's theme is who we are when the stethoscopes come off. And I personally really like the theme this year. It is, there's a lot that has happened, with the pandemic in the last few years. Everybody's been through a lot of stress and a lot of change. And I think that the theme this year really helps us to remember that we are, amazing veterinary technicians that, are hardworking, provide care to animals, but like we are people too, and we need to make sure to take time to take care of ourselves, and well-being is really important, and we shouldn't forget about it.
Why is oh, go ahead, Jess.
I was going to say that's a really cool theme to choose like you're saying, right after the pandemic, because obviously, we all saw all over the place, hometown heroes work here, to the people who were on the front lines and still, interacting with people before we had a vaccine and before things could be okay. So, getting to know you guys as people as opposed to, your heroes, but we need to acknowledge the fact that you do have fun facts about yourself that you want to tell, and you do have lives and families and pets of your own that you might want to talk about. So behind the stethoscope is a really cool theme for this year, I think.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, and I think, going off of what you both said, like the vet tech profession, especially during the pandemic, has been one that has, been really on the front lines with so many new pet adoptions happening and people being at home more, noticing different behaviors in their pets.
Mm-hmm.
So why is self-care especially important this year to, take time to really think about?
Yeah, so I'm like, as you said, I mean, there's been a lot of changes, people being remote, working from home, being with their animals more, adopting more animals, and even the way that clinics operate, a lot of them move to curbside temporarily or permanently, and that change is stressful, from having to go to bringing, clients into a room and, talking directly to having them leave their, sit in the car while we take their animals away from them is stressful for the clients and for us. And, emotions are running high. Clients are, upset, they want to be with their pets, especially when they're sick. And, it's adjustment for everybody. It's led to a high number of appointments, and maybe appointments taking a little bit more time than usual. So working longer hours, just, things like burnout and compassion fatigue have really, been on the minds of a lot of people. It's always something that was, there, but I think, with the pandemic, it really escalated the recognition that this is happening in the field. We're people that are in the veterinary field, we're really dedicated to our profession. We're passionate about our patients. And it's so easy to get, caught up caring for others that we forget to care about ourselves. So in order to provide the best care for patients, it's really important to make sure that we take time to care for ourselves so that we can show up as our best selves and be amazing vet techs.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Do you have any advice on what vet techs can do to take care of themselves when they're having a particularly stressful shift?
That's a really great question, and probably, a really tough one to answer.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes it can be something just, taking a few minutes to yourself, like going somewhere, like a private place, like a break room, back in the kennel, I don't know, and practicing some breathing exercises, taking a few deep breaths and just recentering yourself. I think, a lot of times we have to deal with angry clients, or clients that are scared that their animals are sick. And you have to remember, like, you can't control other people's emotions, but you can control your reactions and how they affect you. So just making sure that you remember that you're doing the best that you can, and that you can't fix the world, but you can definitely try your best to, make, this particular animal more comfortable and healthy, and work with the client to obtain that goal.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense, and that's really important because, as a pet owner myself and having lots of friends that are pet owners and things like that, it is really stressful when you have to take your animal to the vet, or you have to take your animal to, God forbid, the animal hospital. And, I actually had a situation over the pandemic where I had to take my cat to an animal hospital, and, sitting outside in the car and waiting for them to call, and you can get really, the customer, or the pet owner gets very nervous and frustrated and can lash out and take that out on you guys. So I think that it definitely makes a lot of sense to say that you can't control the way people react, but you can control how you react to those people, and just knowing in your head that you're doing your absolute best, because that's what you're here for. You're not here for any other reason besides to make this animal, like you said, comfortable, and do everything you can to keep them their healthy, happy selves. So I
Yeah.
think that's really, really, an important piece of it, is to remember that you can't control your reactions, but also being empathetic to the situations that your, pet owners are going through too. So it's
Right.
really difficult to balance those two things, I'm sure.
Yeah, and it's good to remember to focus on the great, like the positive, happy things that happen during your day. Like, yeah, there's going to be some, emergency situations or sad situations, but you're going to see a lot of really happy situations, like where you see a patient coming in for a recheck and they're doing much better and they're healthy, or, that puppy or kitten that came in and they're so cute and you just want to snuggle them. So, I mean, like, there's a lot of, really happy, things to balance out the negative, and it's important to to make sure to remind yourself all the good that you did.
Right, absolutely. Speaking of, that word balance, and, just trying to keep a level head, obviously with the pandemic and, things of that nature, there being less staffing and needing more personalized care. Obviously, people have been working more shifts, longer shifts, and then trying to, go home and leave that stress and that anxiety from work, in one place. So how do you think it's, building and maintaining a work-life balance, like being at home versus being in the field, especially during this kind of crazy time?
Yeah, I mean, you really just need to try to set boundaries. And I mean, try, because I know it's difficult for all of us, especially, like I said, we, work in this field, because we care so much about animals, and it's hard to just shut off. Like, but you have to try to set that boundary. Try not to take the negative or stressful things home with you that happen during the day. Make sure you have a way to, like, find a way to try to deal with that stress that happened during the day. Maybe it's something like doing some yoga if you're into like painting or arts and crafts, or even like just watching a movie and doing nothing and not even thinking. There's also some really great resources out there that can help guide you on how to create and maintain a work-life balance. And I actually think there's going to be some webinars that are focused around that as well from Penn Foster.
That's perfect. Very relevant to our topic this year.
Yes.
But with everything that veterinary technicians put into their jobs and put into the care of the animals that they work with and the people that they work with who are those pet owners, Veterinary Technician Week is an important week. So can you talk a little bit about why it's really important to take the time to celebrate our veterinary technicians this week?
Yeah, I mean, we are essential players on the veterinary healthcare team. We, in my opinion, office wouldn't function without us. Like, we do everything from, if we have to work in reception to, surgery, exam rooms, kennel work, like we do it all. Except for diagnosing and prescribing medicine. Those are, for doctor only. But like, we give our all year long, and this is our week to celebrate all the things that we do, and to just make sure that the the public understands what our role is and how we play that that role in the health of their animals.
So it sounds like veterinary technicians are pretty amazing. So there may be some people who are watching that might be interested in becoming a vet tech. So can you go through maybe a few reasons of why people would really want to become a veterinary technician despite some of, the stressful elements of the job?
Yeah. So I would say probably the most people that I know that are because they love animals. We want to help animals. We want to make sure that they stay healthy and happy. And, that is, I would say, probably the main reason. But, it's not just about animals, like cats, dogs, veterinary technicians play like a really important part even in the health of like food animals, livestock, diagnostics and research. So I want to make sure that veterinary technicians in those areas and academics and education get, plenty of love as well. We all, work tirelessly to make sure that, we continue to advance the field and make sure that quality of care continues to improve. Also, it's a job that is in high demand. There are more and more clinics that are looking for veterinary technicians hiring. So, it's a good profession with lots of opportunity for job growth. And for me, of course, I love animals, but I really love medicine, and I don't like people as much as I like animals. So for me, that's why I chose it. I really like medicine. I really like animals. And then it's a variety. There's a lot of variety in job being a vet tech. It's always something new every day, especially if you're working in clinic.
That's awesome. And I love what you said about wanting to do medicine but not wanting to work with people.
Ton of credit to human nurses and people in the human profession. I give them a ton of credit.
I think we can all relate to that on a certain level. Yeah. I would much rather be home with my cats than be with any other people. So.
Yes.
So can you maybe also speak a little bit on, becoming a vet tech, if you decide that that's something you want to do? Obviously here at Penn Foster, we have a vet tech programs and things of that nature. So can you speak a little bit about the Penn Foster programs and why it's a good program if somebody does want to get into the field of veterinary technician?
Yeah, so our Penn Foster program is AVMA accredited. So what this means is that once you graduate from our program, this accreditation allows you to sit for the veterinary technician national exam, which is the exam that you need to take to be able to get your credentials. Also, obviously, since we are an AVMA accredited institution, there are certain standards and that we have to abide by to keep that accreditation. So, it's a really great program. We have 2 externships that provide hands-on skills. So there's an externship at the end of the 2nd semester, where it's the more basic vet tech skills, restraint, a little bit of pharmacy, client communication skills, and then there's a second externship where it's the more advanced vet tech skills, surgery, anesthesia, and then it's where we have a handful of large animal skills and some lab animal skills. And I went to a local vet tech school, and I give people that graduate from our program a ton of credit. It's an amazing program, and I think it really prepares our students to be veterinary technicians in today's world. You're going to leave with incredible I I might be biased, but I think it's a great program.
And I know we always are, looking to make sure that it's really like up to date with, how we can best meet our learners' needs too. So even now, like there are visual interactives. So if you're worried about getting that hands-on experience online, like you could use these interactives to really visualize the things that you're reading about and learning about, which is pretty cool.
Yes, that's a great point. And there are some really great models for courses like anatomy and physiology, where you can't have, a physical skeleton in your house. So there are really great anatomical models that you have access to.
That's definitely really important. I feel like, when somebody's thinking about going into a, medicine or a healthcare profession that's that in depth, is you worry about not having those hands-on, models and things like that. So it's really incredible that Penn Foster offers, these things that you can do from, all online from the comfort of your home, which is pretty incredible if you ask me. I mean, I actually, when I first graduated from school, from high school, I went into a physical therapy degree that I didn't finish. But, doing anatomy and physiology in person is one thing, and the idea of doing it online, back then seems like ludicrous to me. But now it's so incredible that you can, and that we have those tools and resources for our students.
Yeah, and I have to, of course, give a shout out to our amazing faculty and student support services. I mean, they are, amazing. They do a phenomenal job of supporting our students through the program, being here to, answer academic related questions, and really continue to support students with, questions they have as they move through the program.
Yeah, they're amazing. So we have the veterinary technician associate degree. We have the veterinary technology bachelor's degree.
Yes.
But then Megan, can you tell us about some other programs that might be of interest if somebody wants to maybe work in a veterinary office or clinic, but doesn't necessarily want to be a vet tech?
Yeah. So, veterinary team consists of more than just, the veterinarian and the, veterinary technician. There are, veterinary assistants, practice managers, customer support, or receptionists. So, we have other programs that are more suited to support people that are interested in learning those types of job roles. Veterinary assistant. So it's similar to a vet tech, some overlap, but it's more that they are assisting the veterinary technician to do some of their jobs, like bring clients in a room, restrain, and surgical prep of area, and things like that. And then of course practice manager. I'll say there's actually a lot of veterinary technicians that end up becoming practice managers, and there are practice managers who, do not have any veterinary experience. Both are okay. But our practice manager program focuses more on the business side of veterinary medicine, and you meet the educational requirements to be able to take the practice manager certification. Of course, there are other requirements for that certification in addition to the education requirement, but this does meet the standards for that part.
Awesome. That's great to know for sure that, we're here talking about Vet Tech Week, but that there are other options if that's not the, the perfect route for everybody who wants to go into the field.
Yeah, if there are people that are uncertain, if this is a field for you, if you want to go in and shadow, that's a great, thing. Or there's things like the veterinary assistant program, where you're going to get a good foundation of some more basic veterinary knowledge. And if you complete that course and you want more, we have our veterinary associate degree. But our veterinary assistant program, is a great place to start for people that are unsure. Yeah, we'll definitely get you the veterinary knowledge that you need to go in and do some of that base level veterinary skills.
Yeah, that's really good advice. And for anyone watching, if you want to talk with an admissions rep about what might be the best move for you, you're of course welcome to call us. We also have our brand new website, so check that out at pennfoster.edu, and we have a lot of great program related information there. You can look at it all in the veterinary category. Another way to get really great information is to join some of our webinars this week, which are, of course, no cost. So you can definitely check those out, and anybody can watch those and gain some insights. So Megan, can you tell us a little bit about what's coming up this week that people should sign up for?
Yeah, so we have a couple of really amazing webinars that we are going to be hosting. As fitting with the theme this year, there are some that are have to do with self-care and well-being. So I believe that one is on Monday at 8 p.m. from 8 to 10 Eastern. And that is going to cover self-care and well-being, and the importance of each, and kind of how we can achieve that in our lives. We're also going to be doing some webinars on the history of the veterinary technician profession. So really great for people that are current students or thinking about enrolling. If you want to hear a little bit about how the veterinary profession developed and all of the amazing things that we do as veterinary technicians, it's a great webinar to check out. And I think there's one about even our graduates, right? That has a panel of graduates. Yes. And that was on Wednesday from 8 until 10.
Yep.
Yes. That's one that I feel like would be really, really beneficial for people going through the program currently, but also, prospective students and people who are thinking about joining, actually getting the words from the horse's mouth, no pun intended, from these actual graduates who have been there and have gone through it and have seen it through to the end and see where they are now. That's, on top of being really important, super inspirational.
Definitely. And also, for anyone who's interested in these webinars, we'll drop the links here in the comments so you can register for those now.
And I believe if you can't watch them live, if you register, they'll send you a link after and you can watch them later. So, if you can't make the time that they're airing live, go ahead and register anyway, because then you can watch them at your leisure.
Yeah, thanks, Jess, for putting that little reminder in.
And then I think there's one more.
Yeah, there is. On Thursday, the 21st from 8 till 10, is your emotional toolbox, how to build resilience. So you're going to learn some methods of building resilience, how we can center ourselves and even flourish in these trying times. So again, really fitting with the theme of this year's Vet Tech Week, on who we are behind the stethoscope. We're graduates, we're veterinary technicians, we need to make sure that we find time for well-being and self-care.
That's really good advice. Also, for anyone watching, they can check out the Facebook group, which is Penn Foster Veterinary Technicians. That's a great place for our learners to join, because there's a lot of people engaged a lot with each other in there.
Yes.
Yeah, our Facebook group is a really great place to, connect with current students, alumni, and even some, veterinary professionals that are in there. So great way to make some connections in the veterinary field.
Nice.
Awesome.
Megan, thank you so much for joining us today and, celebrating this awesome week with us. We really appreciate all the work you do and you being here with us today. And to everyone watching who's a vet tech, thank you. We celebrate you. We hope you have an amazing week and feel really good about the work that you do.
Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you all for joining, and we'll see you guys in 2 weeks.
Yes, see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.